Let's go over a few things because this is near and dear to my heart. Okay. ESPN and Spike Lee and his team and Colin Kaepernick and his team have cited creative differences for the Colin Kaepernick Spike Lee documentary not being released on ESPN. Now, the reason this is near and dear to my heart is because I was interviewed for this documentary by Spike Lee for over an hour. And first off, I am so appreciative that I was asked to be in it. Beyond appreciative. Meeting Spike Lee was like seeing a larger-than-life figure. Going into his 40 acres and a mule studios. So unbelievably cool. The memorabilia on the walls, remarkable. Muhammad Ali worn trunks and Michael Jordan signed pictures and Griffey. I think there was Joe Louis stuff too. It was truly remarkable to be in there. It's an experience I will never, ever forget. And that was I'm pretty calm about this stuff, but this was an experience that I was nervous about because it's Spike Lee interviewing you and asking your opinion and pieces of analysis that you could give on certain topics. And we touched on serious stuff. We touched on, he prepared a few things for me to, look over and hey, what do you think about this? What do you think about that? And it was cool. I saw his interview style. I prepared my tail off for this by watching some of his documentaries so I would know his interview style as well. And we talked about a lot of stuff, man. We talked about the owners. We talked about Jerry Jones. We talked about Colin, obviously, the injustice that occurred and more injustices that transpired. And me personally, I talked about Stephen A. Smith because I think it would be hypocritical for me to go in there and just glaze the network. And I ripped the owners. I ripped Stephen A. Smith because I thought his coverage was completely lost in the way that he framed it about Colin Kaepernick. And I thought that he tried to make Colin look bad. And I said a lot more than that, obviously. But I thought it would just be clownish of me to not say anything about Stephen A. And then we wrapped and it was, we talked about race norming too. Talked about Eric Reed. And I also ripped Roger Goodell a new one. I did, honestly. Because he failed. He didn't protect his players. He bent the knee to Donald Trump. Stephen Ross, the owner of the Miami Dolphins, according to the Wall Street Journal testimony, even talked about it. We saw the dialogue that Roger Goodell used. And we wrapped and we talked a little. And then I went back to my hotel, got my things, and I flew back to LA from New York. But what really stuck out to me was the fact that there were so many lapses over the past few years. I think I was interviewed January 2021. And we just kept getting small reports over and over, delayed or unsure of release time. Oh, they're in production, but is it this? Is it that? And my wife would ask me, my family would ask me, my friends would ask me, hey man, when's it coming out? I'm I don't know. Contacted a few people about it. Yeah, we're working on a few things. And then this report comes out. And then about 3 to 6 days later, Jimmy Pitaro of ESPN comes out and says, no, it's not about political reasons. Now, let me just give you my opinion on this, okay? We have seen how Donald Trump has decided to come down on different media outlets, essentially, according to some lawyers and even some in the media who focus on this sort of stuff, that he didn't have a leg to stand on, excuse me, when he sued a lot of these media companies, and that the media companies probably would have won. But because of the hot, let's say, political climate that we are in, and the head of the FCC just being a Trump crony, I believe ESPN wanted to play ball. I do. I believe that they saw the writing on the wall and how they were going after different companies. The NFL deal is already taking place and taking shape. They don't want any hiccups. So they are going to let this project go. We know how Colin is still trying to get back in the league. We know that this is the same network who said, don't talk about politics and sports, but let Stephen A. Smith do whatever he wants on the subject. Jimmy Pitaro said that during the first Trump term. So I'm just following the themes here. And I do believe that they do not want to get on the administration's bad side. They will let another network take that on if it happens. And Jimmy Pitaro knows where his bread is buttered. I believe this was a calculated decision by Bob Iger, the head of Disney, Jimmy Pitaro, and other suits at ESPN. Because the last thing that they want to do is ruffle the feathers of an administration that knows that this is it. They're going for it all. They're going for the jugular at every single point in time that they possibly can. So they are, in essence, bending the knee to fascism. Is it a, hot story? Are we flying too close to the sun here? I don't think so. I think the truth will come out with all of this in due time. What should be noted is that a former ESPN employee, Dave Damashek, went on the record a few days ago saying he was told by higher-ups at the four-letter network to stop talking about Colin Kaepernick. The framing of the conversations were pretty detrimental in the grand scheme of things. They did not help the cause. The way Stephen A. framed the workout was atrocious. So I'm also following the trends of okay, who did they talk to? And when I'm sure you will find out who they did speak with at some point in time, I don't believe, as a matter of fact, I know that I'm not alone in my criticisms. I think there were realistic, legitimate concerns from many people who were interviewed for this documentary that voiced it about the network. And about not just ESPN, but about Stephen A. And about Roger Goodell. And about the owners. And about the president. So I'm telling you, from my perspective, it is political. My opinion, it is political. They don't want to get on the administration's bad side. Imagine if they aired what I said and about what others who I know were interviewed said. This administration would come down on them like an iron fist. They're weighing, it's like a math problem. They're weighing the pros and the cons here. And at the end of the day, how does it help our bottom line? Because that is all that they care about. They would get a ton of attention. But they're scared of the Ben Shapiros, the Matt Walshes, the Asmongoulds. They are scared of the MAGA influencer base. They are scared of Jillian Michaels, and they are scared of the administration and the reaction that they would have to airing this. So look, they chose what they chose. It is what it is. Extremely disappointing. I hope, and I am optimistic, that there will be another network that picks this up. Unfortunately, Spike Lee can't talk about it because he said he signed an NDA. Haven't heard much from Colin. I believe he probably had to sign an NDA as well. So we wait and see. But the most important thing is getting the story out and being able to share it. Because it is not just when we mute something of such a large stature like this